Hello, hibiscus. How are you doing? Look, I know March was an incredibly spicy, sour, one of those months, right? But look, you're here, you're kind of doing well, but you will be doing much better by the end of April. So, the way I actually wanted to kick off your April horoscopes is remind you of a couple of the big conjunctions happening right now and how you can leverage that energy to kind of keep you grounded, put the fight back in you, and kind of give you the energy you deserve to get to grips with April. Because April will be just as spicy as March, but you're gonna feel much more passionate. You're gonna feel much more able to kind of defend yourself and all the good stuff. And I thought the perfect way to kind of describe that energy is remind you of one of the biggest conjunctions happening at the moment. Rahu, the planet of destiny, is teaming up with Sun, the planet of leadership and difficulties. So the way I want to approach this is I'm going to break down the Instagram horoscopes I do and we're going to walk through it together. So like magic, look at it here. Let's get into it. So firstly, the title of this transit I labeled Mom, I Am the Rich Man. What does that mean? Well, Cher actually has Sun and Rahu conjunction in her D1 chart. And the interesting thing is when we meet anyone who is born on an eclipse or very close to it, we often have an idea they're going to have a very colourful life, but also it will come with its fair share of challenges. And the whole thing is for the person to reclaim their power. I'm pretty sure you can relate after your March. You only have 9 days left in this, but you're going to feel it for a while because we're in the middle of eclipse season and all the changes that come up. There's going to be an element where you feel betrayed and you kind of feel sidelined, but that's going to give you like your spice, your conviction to fight back and really go for things. So let's go over to page 1. So what does it mean when Rahu and Sun fuse? First things first, like I always say, in Vedic Astrology, we have 108 star signs, right? So the way planets operate in each of those star signs hugely changes the vibe. But the key thing I would say is when Sun and Rahu fuse together, you have someone who will become an incredibly powerful figure. And the fact that this is happening at collective level is kind of reminding people, yes, you are in the thick of a lot of challenges. Like I've said on TikTok, we are in the beginning of the downfall of colonialism, but this is not a case of you die out and it destroys everything and you're on the ground. No, you are reclaiming your power. You are showing radical leadership. You're bringing your light there, right? But the only thing is, because it's conjunct with Rahu, we know it's not going to be a smooth journey. And I think that's worth keeping in mind as we go through April. Because in April, you have so many good transits that are really, I would say, auspicious, give you a lot of support, help you reclaim your energy, feel really okay with mentally ending a lot of chapters. But it's on you to show up. It's on you to really have pride and honestly, from the bottom of your heart, know that you deserve better. And you should not just settle for like the bare minimum. You should not be tolerating disrespect and disregard. And ultimately, Sun and Rahu are two huge, like authority, leadership, they're hungry planets. They wanna conquer. So this is not the case of you settling for crumbs or allowing people to dictate what you can get moving forward. And like I keep saying, it's a Saturn ruled year. You do the work, you show up, you show them what you're about. The kind of wealth you'll build in the next 15 months is going to be insane. Like you can, even in the thick of like the financial crisis at the moment, I promise you, you'd be so surprised by where you are this time next year. If you are willing to put yourself out there. Remember, when Sun and Rahu come together, whilst it is a magnificent person, as we'll unpack in the celebrity part of this video, it's someone's character who will be heavily criticized and judged. So what does that mean for you? Whatever the new chapter holds for you coming up, you have to have a certain self-confidence, a certain conviction, and a certain passion that you are worthy of the things that you want and you don't really care about anybody else. That's the key thing. Whilst we are in very intense transits, one of the catches that I try to tell people is not just because it's a fruitful transit, you get everything. No, transits like this will only reward the people who back themselves. So therefore, if you are sitting in a type of energy where you are not going for the things you want, you are engaging with relationships, work dynamics that are beneath you and holding you back and all of that, what you will feel like this month, Sun and Rahu's eclipse, like you don't have a sense of worth. You will literally feel so dark, so miserable. You don't want all of that. Now, I think one thing I like the most about Sun and Rahu conjunctions when they go through the sky, it basically gives you a very unique individual that can overcome very difficult, outstanding problems, and usually they're dealing with challenges from their loved ones. So when I was creating this post, I took images of Arjun being led into battle by Krishna, because who does Arjun go against? It's not an enemy that he hates and he has bad blood with, it's his loved ones. So there's an element as we kick off April that if you're going to go for the things that you like, it's funny who enjoys your company when you're not doing so well versus when you're shining. And yeah, you're going to have to drop quite a few bodies, you're going to have to learn to stand up for yourself, and you're going to have to learn not to be kind of, how would I put it, halted by other people. And if you can just have that sense of oomph, you'll be completely fine. And remember that for when I do the rest of your April horoscope. Next, let's look at, well, what does the sun do when it's put in all 9 types of Pisces, so all the Pisces nakshatras. So firstly, it's going to start off in Purva Bhadra. So Purva Bhadra is a sign of exposing hypocrisies, right? But it also talks about its Shakti. So imagine Shakti is like a superpower given to every sign. Its Shakti is the power to spiritually uplift the sacrificer. So yeah, right at the beginning of this transit started in March, by the way, there would have been an element where you would have been done dirty, but it's asking you to get up. It's asking you to recognize whatever injustices you faced, it's really nothing to do with you. It's about an existing system which is corrupt, suppressive, oppressive, all of that shebang. And I always say this to people, when you are put in unique experiences where the disrespect is so loud, that's God's way of getting you to change because you're not doing it. And I think I always make a point of telling people, God will speak to us in a language that we understand. So your March was always meant to be hurtful, not that great, full of aggression, because it's literally God being like, get up. Like, how many times? Like, you will not thrive here. I put it on my TikTok where I was like, you cannot blossom in a cemetery. That is literally March, well, was March's vibe. So great. We literally have, you understand, you cannot exist and shine in these current systems, experiences, situations. So then the sun goes into Uttara Bhadra. So Uttara Bhadra literally represents wisdom, good fortune, and it talks about someone that will accumulate wonderful things but further down the line. So what does that mean for you? As you work through this Rahu and Sun conjunction energy, it's literally rebuilding your sense of, no, I can have what I want. But first it comes from realizing the injustices, a lot of the unfairness, the disrespect that was shown in March, and you realizing whatever you want or what you're striving for cannot be achieved here. Great. Then part 2 of that transit is you then actually leveling back up. Uttara Bhadra is ruled by Saturn. So this is you making a mental note and being like, you know what? If I want what I want, I'm willing to put in the work. A lot of like multi-millionaires and very successful people have Uttara Bhadra. Then we get to the final bit, which we're currently in. Sun enters Revati, right? Revati talks about the completion of a journey. So in a really big way, what's happening with you is you are slowly but surely coming to a point of power, and you're literally like, whatever was the past is a past. I don't need to engage with it. I don't even need to acknowledge it. But moving forward, this will be very, very different. Also, Revati is known as the wealthiest. Revati denotes people who are extremely unconventional. They're beautiful, they're creative. So what we're seeing is you basically leave a state of conforming, and you learning conforming doesn't bring you anything. And then you powering up and realizing, oh, in my authenticity, in me being myself, in me pursuing the things that I love and mean something to me and trusting my gut, so much goodness can happen. And really, by now, what you should have experienced is you got knocked on your feet, you found the solutions, and then you start to see the tide change. Like, one thing I found in all my readings over March into April is so many people were like made redundant or went through, I would say, very stressful experiences. And just like that, they were like, you know what, now I'm going to start my own business. And the week they opened up their services, they were booked out, right? Other people got made redundant or quit their job over some sort of heated exchange. And literally by the end of March, early April, they were offered a job that was literally like twice their salary. But this is what I'm saying. The confrontations themselves and the ugliness is not inherently bad. It actually is a catalyst for so many good things. You got to remember, Sun is conjunct with Rahu. So yeah, these are disruptive events. These are events where you realize where you've been deceived. It talks about you being, we'll say, your character being attacked and questioned. But it's through these hiccups destiny is unfolded. You kind of get put more into alignment or more deeper onto a path that is meant for you, where you can really shine. So once again, nothing bad. I think on the final note, when we look at this page, when you have Sun and Rahu together, when it's done properly, a person becomes very self-aware, right? And it's not in a hypercritical way. They are very aware of what they bring to the table. They're very aware where they need to do more work to excel. But it's someone who's in control of a situation. So therefore, whatever you put them through, they're gonna win. They are literally going to win. They have the perfect mindset. And the thing is, they'll be very ambitious. They are not settling for anything less than they deserve. That's why we see a lot of Sun and Rahu people become super famous or like huge leaders within their chosen sectors. When Sun and Rahu conjunctions are off and people can't handle the energy, again, like I said, they'll become, how would I put it? I think they just basically become super bratty, right? They want everything, but they can't understand why they're not getting it. And it's just kind of wanting everything, but not doing the work, not taking the risk, etc., etc. Again, take that how you will. And the other thing I want to mention, the power of apologizing, especially in the first 2 weeks of April, will carry you very far. Just keep that in mind as you navigate this energy. Now let me quickly finish up by looking at the examples. So, 3 of my favorite people who have Sun and Rahu conjunction are the following ladies: Meghan Markle, Frida Kahlo, Cher. And it's so interesting, when I was looking at their charts, literally think of the similarities between these women, right? I think they do a really good job of showing the positive manifestations of Sun and Rahu conjunct, right? These are people who did not start life on the best note. They were not afforded things, but that belief of self and that willing to risk, experiment, embrace their uniqueness, look how far it carried their career, right? And yeah, obviously with 3 ladies, there is a lot of criticism about them, but yeah, do they stop? No, they continue to shine. And it's like, I personally feel like God rewards them more and more for leaning into the things that make them different. And also, the things that they're critiqued about, and I'm seeing this more, I think, in the modern day, Sun and Rahu people will literally take those criticism and use it as a conversation starter about the pitfalls in society. So even when you're like hating on them and trying to judge them, they're like, oh, but this is a reflection of your issues, not mine, and I'm very sorry you feel like that. And I think the last thing we'll finish off on is, look, when you look at these 3 individuals, the clear life lesson is learning not to dim your brilliance, is not to hide away. Like I said, when Sun and Rahu is bad, it creates someone who's deeply self-conscious, unable to come out the shadows, all of that. But when it's balanced and you get someone who's like, I'm aware that my life will be full of heavy criticisms. I'm aware people may think the things I do are unorthodox, but I will exist and I will take up space, and by God damn, you're gonna enjoy all of me and pay me for it. And look at all 3 of these. And also, I kind of think Sun and Rahu is giving you that vibe. It's better to live a life that is fun and engaging, that you love and is full of passion, than to live a life that you're just surviving. Anyway, yeah, so this basically denotes the journey of beginning of success. Did I say that wrong? No, this journey marks this journey. Give me a second. I got my tongue back. This journey marks the beginning of a more successful phase in your life. So, yeah, you got knocked about in March, but that is not the be all and end all. Time to get up, time to go for what you want with a lot of passion and a lot of heart. And yeah, be prepared to go the rounds with people. But the key difference is you're not going to be dragged down by them. You are literally going to flourish in their faces and be very unapologetic about it. Cool? Wonderful. Thanks for tuning in to my first YouTube horoscope video. See you soon. Bye!